So I recently rewatched Hawkeye for the first time in preparation for the show Echo, and my thoughts are relatively the same since I first watched it. The show is your standard Disney Plus MCU TV series where it feels rushed, with a boring formula, forced comedy, and poor writing. We all know how these Disney Plus MCU shows turn out. It's either average or bad. Hawkeye is on the average side. The only thing different about Hawkeye compared to the other MCU shows is its Christmas theme. I guess my biggest problem with Hawkeye is out of all the MCU Disney Plus shows that have released so far, Hawkeye had the potential to be the best of the shows. Let's be honest though, all the shows have potential to be great, especially if the MCU decide to put more effort and care into their products, especially on the TV show side, because it feels like with the TV shows, they just do it for like a quick money grab to gain subscribers. Don't put any effort into the story, and if they do, it's like 3 seconds of effort. They use their same old boring formula for their shows. Almost every show feels formulaic, even though it's all about different characters and different premises. They all have the same type of characters, forced comedy, and the list goes on. The frustrating part is that they didn't used to be like this. They used to have a lot of heart into their projects, and then all of a sudden that heart went away for greed. It also helped that Kevin Feige didn't run the TV shows. He only focused on the movies, and we need to go back to someone running only the TV shows. Kevin Feige's one guy. He can't do everything, But with a character like Hawkeye, you would think they would put more effort into the show not being average. I mean, Hawkeye is an OG Avenger. You want to really put the effort into making this as good of a show as you can, because as an OG, that's what he deserves. Also, the fact that this show decided to adapt the Matt Fraction's Hawkeye story from the comics, which is a great story for Hawkeye, that I would think that would make the show overall better. Plus, the show could have explored Hawkeye as Ronin in flashbacks, and they could have explored his tragic past, which they were originally going to do in the show, but they decided to delete all of those scenes with him and his mom. And I recommend looking that up on YouTube, the deleted scenes of Clint's backstory with his mom and how he had a tough life growing up. But all of those great scenes were removed. I guess the MCU thought, oh, this is great, and we can't have great storytelling and writing in our show. No, as the MCU, we need to have mid-writing. Everything needs to feel like it's forgettable in 3 seconds, but good enough to keep your attention span. That's the MCU motto. Because as the MCU, we think our audience would not be able to handle scenes that are serious without forced comedy every 4 seconds. Because as the MCU, we treat our audience like they have the attention span of a 3-year-old. If there's no jokes, then it's gotta get cut. Because, we gotta have those jokes. We love those jokes as the MCU. Just kidding, not really. But, sarcasm aside, I have no idea why they removed backstory for the main character in the show. And instead, I guess they filled it up with scenes with other characters for other shows that are supposed to be spun off, and for Kate, because for some reason they decided to put too much crap into this show, and instead of taking some of the unnecessary crap out, they decided to take crap out for the main character, because that's the MCU logic for you guys. Also, in this series, you have the Kingpin, so maybe the series could have been as dark as the Netflix shows and maybe have some really cool action scenes. As it stands, the action scenes in Hawkeye are pretty mid. There's like 2 great action scenes that a lot of effort was put into it, but the rest of the action scenes are pretty just all over the place and kind of forgettable. It's sad when you have choreography and fight scenes done better on a show like Arrow, which the budget is nowhere close as to the budget that was for Hawkeye. But at least they put the effort for 2 really good action scenes, I guess. Also, the thing that's kind of crazy to think about too is Arrow had less time to develop their action scenes and develop their choreography. Hawkeye has unlimited time and movie money placed into the series. This is Disney Plus. This is Disney. Disney has like an unlimited supply of money. And all that money created 2 really good action scenes, and the rest was mid, kind of bad, and forgettable. Like, that's just sad.
I retire for what, like 5 minutes and it all goes to shit?
The Echo trailer, I think, should be like the tone of Hawkeye, honestly. Hawkeye should have been given the Netflix treatment, especially if they explored some Ronin flashbacks, some tragic flashback scenes with him as a kid and maybe him growing up as a teenager. Explore more of his backstory. Hawkeye is a very mysterious character. Let's explore a bit of his tragic backstory and just his time as Ronin, where it looked like he was on some sort of crazy bloodlust. There's a lot of pieces there for a really great TV series. But instead, this TV series is just kind of there. It feels like Hawkeye decided to go through all the motions of great ideas and great concepts for a great TV series, but there's no substance, and it's just lazy, rushed execution. Speaking of the rush factor, this show really just is too much. It's too much going on in 6 episodes. Like, goddamn, we had too many things going on for a show that only had 6 episodes. Due to the fact that we had too much going on in this series, the show never had a chance to breathe. This show was always going a million miles per hour, and there's just so much crap stuffed into this one show. Hawkeye deserved a 10 to 12 episode series, plus cut out half of the things that were in this series, so we can have more time to develop the characters of Clint and Kate. I think something that was also handled poorly in the show was Kate Bishop. She has the potential to be a really great character, but it's just everything with her character is just kind of forced, formulaic. She has that typical generic MCU comedy quippiness to her. In some ways, she kind of feels like the main character or second to Clint. I think they're both the main character of the show, which does make sense. I feel like Hawkeye could have done many things to make her character more interesting and more tragic. Kate Bishop was a wasted opportunity, especially since it was played by Haley Steinfeld, who is a great actress. She could have brought a lot to the role, but instead they turned her into a generic MCU caricature. And the bond with Clint is very rushed. Her character too, but Clint and Kate's bond, I never really felt anything for it, because it happened way too quick over the span of 6 episodes. The heart and soul of this series should have been Clint and Kate for the majority of the time.
It's just some Christmas.
I think keep Echo there, keep Kingpin, cut out Swordsmaster or make him more interesting than he was in this TV series. Cut out a lot of the mystery boxes that are in the show. Like, the show should have never been a mystery box, Christmas themed show. Should have been a character study type of show, something like the Netflix series, mainly Daredevil. Also, hot take, cut out Yelena as well. That whole storyline was really rushed, and I felt nothing by the end. The thing that might have hurt the show the most was the Christmas theme that this show had to it. The Christmas music, the Christmas dialogue, it just felt really out of place in a Hawkeye TV series that should be grounded and pretty serious. When you rewatch the show, it feels very magic-y and very gimmicky with the Christmas themes, and especially in the last episode, oh my god, they really go all out on Christmas in that episode, and it does a really big disservice to the characters, especially Kingpin. When he's talking about the holidays and excusing certain things, he goes, oh, it's the holiday season.
In the spirit of the holidays, I'm going to give you a minute to think about what you're starting right now.
It feels so out of character. Feels like something that would come out of a Disney Christmas movie or something like that. Maybe they could have had a Christmas themed episode if they had like 13 episodes in the season, but we only were given 6 episodes, and throughout all 6 episodes, it just felt like a holiday special with Hawkeye and Netflix characters and Echo and Yelena and Swordsman and so much crap stuffed into too short of a time. And Kingpin, like I said, he was affected the most. He had no character in this series. I remember when I first watched this show, I was left with it being just average, but just rewatching it and talking about it now, I just have really just big anger towards the show now. I think it's also because I realized the MCU at the time was on a major downward trajectory. Like, this is really bad stuff that's going on with the MCU right now. This is very discombobulated, directionless. We might not have Kang anymore, or we might have Doctor Doom out of nowhere now. Also, the stuff behind the scenes is just, everything is a mess, and knowing everything that's going on right now and rewatching this show, it just makes it worse. And also just thinking about how much potential this show had. So many great ideas and moments that could have been had in this show. There's just a lot in here that could make for a great TV show, but it's executed so poorly. And there's other bad ideas in here too, like the Christmas theme. It really kills the show. And in the end, Hawkeye deserved a great TV series, and unfortunately he was just given an average TV series with little to no effort put into it.
Like hot shot, but you know, Hawk.
No,
Lady Arrow?
none of those.
Okay, fine.
You know what? Actually, I have an idea.